Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. I would like to give a special thanks to Dadeland, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram for giving me time with the 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit. If you're in the market for a Jeep, you can come check out Dadeland, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram and ask for James. He will get you into a new or pre-owned vehicle. But let's talk about the Grand Cherokee L here. Like I mentioned, my model is the Summit model here. But let's talk about the exterior styling here. I think the Grand Cherokee L looks really sophisticated. I actually love the aggressive styling here. Looking at these headlights here, they're a multi-reflector headlight with this automatic low and high beam, which is an LED. Also with these LED turn signals and LED daytime running light. And my model does have these LED fog lights here at the lower part of the fascia. There's front parking sensors, also with this aluminum trim here. I actually like the grille here. Does look very aggressive here with the mesh-like finish. There's also the 7 corporate slot grille here that Jeep is known for. That's also a front-facing camera. And there's the Jeep emblem on the actual hood. I wish Jeep would have made it just a little bit bigger compared to how small this front is, especially with this long hood. But stepping away from the Grand Cherokee L here and looking at the side proportions, this has a 121.7-inch wheelbase with an overall length of 204.9 inches. Looking at these tires and wheels here, these are a 265/50 Scorpion tire. They're wrapped in this 20-inch rim design. Actually like the multi-spoke rim design here. This also has adaptive air suspension, so this vehicle will lower and raise itself. I have it at its lowest setting, so that way it does have this aggressive stance to it. And if you raise the air suspension up, Jeep says you get around 10.9 inches of ground clearance. So really good ground clearance in this segment. I think no other competitor offers that amount of ground clearance. So Jeep is keeping that heritage here for the off-road capability. If you do want to take the Grand Cherokee L off-roading, there's the Grand Cherokee badge down here, also with the American flag. I actually like that little detail there to show American pride. There's more of that aluminum painted trim at the lower part of the door panel. There's this LED sight marker here. And up top, Jeep does give you this large panoramic sunroof here to let light into the cabin. And it's also these aerodynamic roof rails. But making our way to the rear here of the Grand Cherokee L, looking at these taillights here, very slim taillights. They're full LED, which is a turn signal, brake light, and reverse light. There's the Jeep emblem there. There's also the Summit badge right there to signify the trim level that you have. There's also the L to let everyone know that you have the extended wheelbase version. And there's also the 4x4 system. Like I mentioned, it does have that adaptive suspension. There's also dual tip exhaust. And Jeep says you can tow around 6,200 pounds once you remove that plastic cover there. Open up the cargo back here. This does have a power opening tailgate. Once it opens up, it reveals 17.2 cubic feet of space. And this is how you fold down the second and third row here. Once you fold down everything, Jeep says that expands the cargo to 84.5 cubic feet of space. There's some LED lights back here. And underneath here, Jeep does give you some underfloor storage. But overall, let's hop into the interior of the Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Sitting inside the interior of the Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit, looking at this cabin here, very nice cabin. I also like the wood trim, also with the diamond quilted stitching on the door panel and even on the seats here, which looks really nice. But reaching over here to shut the door of the Grand Cherokee L, the door sounds very solid. But to start up the vehicle, just put your foot on the brake and press the start stop button right here on the dash. And keep in mind, my model does have that V6 underneath the hood. This is a 10.1-inch display. You can customize it to your liking. And this is a 10.1-inch display here, which does have that Uconnect 5 system, which is a really good infotainment system. We'll talk about the 2 screens in a few seconds. But looking here at the door panel material, it's gonna be a nice soft touch ejection molded plastic. There's this nice wood trim here. Also with this aluminum painted door handle. There's 2 person memory seats. If you guys wanna get a massage here, just press this button over here. And it does display the massage screen here. You also have a waterfall, lower back extend, and a lower extend, so you can customize the massage function to your liking. Right now I have it on waterfall, and it feels really good sitting here getting a massage. Looking here, there's more than nice diamond quilted stitching here. It is auto up, auto down for all 4 windows. There's your mirror controls here, and you can power fold the mirrors in if you would like. And my model does have the Macintosh sound system, which sounds pretty damn good. There's a cup holder here with some additional storage space. There's your seating controls here on the side, their power adjustment. There's a electronic parking brake here, your headlight controls, and your dimmer switches here. And this is a power tilt and telescoping wheel. Looking here at the screen here, you can customize it by pressing this button here. Once you do that, it will go back to this full digital display, or you can customize it to show you your current trip status. also what's playing on the actual radio, and it does show you the suspension. And this vehicle does have 10.9 inches of ground clearance. Like I mentioned, there's the Macintosh here. Unfortunately, my model does not have a heads-up display because this is a summer. I'm surprised that Jeep didn't put that here on the summer model. But the materials on the dash feel really nice, more than nice stitching, real leather here, which feels really good to touch. And there's no rearview camera mirror, which Jeep would offer that as well. Press this button here, it does reveal the sunglass holder, and there's also LED lights throughout the cabin. And there's this large panoramic sunroof here. Unfortunately, it does not go into the actual third row. If you want that third row panoramic sunroof, you have to go for the Wagoneer or the Wagoneer model in order to get that feature. Looking here at the top of the infotainment system, there's an automatic start-stop function. There's also the lane keep assist, traction control, hazard button, parking sensors, and this vehicle will parallel park itself as well once it finds an empty spot. Going here to the Uconnect 5 system, going here to the embedded navigation. Once you click that, you can search up different things like a gas station, for example. Once I click this, it's going to show me the nearest gas station, which is really good. So really good technology that Jeep has been offering. As you guys can see, the TomTom navigation here is just super responsive. Me personally, most people might just use their phones to navigation, like the Waze or Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever maps system that you guys will use. But like I mentioned, Jeep has been updating their maps through over the years, and the Uconnect 5 system is a really good system. Going here to comfort, it does show you your climate control options. There's also cool seats and heated seats. There's also a heated steering wheel function there as well, but there's also physical buttons here. The cool seats work really good, especially right now. I'm getting this massage, it feels freaking fantastic. There's a volume and tune knob here. There's also shortcut buttons down here. There's a type C port, also with a 12 volt with a type A port. My iPhone 13 Pro Max does fit here in this area, so if you guys do have a larger phone, it will fit here. And you can close this if you would like. This is gloss black trim, but it does leave fingerprints, as you guys can see right there. Looking down here, there's your drive mode selector. It does show you auto, snow, sand and mud, rock, and there's also a sport mode, and it will change the gauge display here once you switch it through the different modes. And like I mentioned, this does have that adaptive air suspension, so it will lower and raise this vehicle as well. There's a for low mode here. There's also hill descent control, and you can adjust the air suspension from this toggle here. Putting the vehicle into reverse, it does reveal a top-down 360 view here. There's also a trajectory with distance markers, and Jeep says you can tow 6,200 pounds. There's different angles around this vehicle. There's a front-facing camera, also a large backup camera there. Like I mentioned, front-facing camera, and it does show you which way that you have the steering wheel facing or pointing. And you can switch over here to drive and back into park. And this is a real metal shifter here, as you guys can see, or as you guys can hear. There's two cup holders here. You can close this off if you would like, open and close. I'm gonna show you guys the key fob. It does have a lock, unlock, remote start, trunk release, and a panic button. The same key that's on Grand Wagoneer or the Wagoneer that I showed you guys recently. It does have Jeep spelled out. Really nice key to hold in your hand. Close this off. There's also more than nice stitching here. Open up this. It does reveal this small area here. It's also lined with felt. Open up this area down here. It's pretty decent. It's also lined with felt as well. The seats in here, they look really good. I like the way the seats look. There's also the Summit name, which is stamped in the actual seat back here. Nice leather and nice stitching that Jeep used for the seating. But looking at the glove box here, it does reveal a large storage. But overall, I'm very impressed with this cabin. But let's hop into the second and third row of the Grand Cherokee L. Getting into the second and third row here of the Jeep Grand Cherokee L, as you guys can see here, my model does have these captain's chairs. They do feel very plush and very comfortable. I actually like the way the seats look here. But looking down here, Jeep says you get around 39.4 inches of legroom here in the back seat of the Grand Cherokee L. This is why you buy this version here. Looking here, there's also two mount pockets that you get back here for storage. There's also 3-level heated seats. If you guys want cool seats, I'm pretty sure you have to go for the Summit Reserve in order to get the cool seat function. You also have your own set of climate controls back here. There's rear air vents. There's also a type C port with a type A port, and there is a household outlet here. And the floor back here is not flat, surprisingly. But as you guys can see, there's also two cup holders here with a nice storage well. Open up this, it is lined with felt. You probably put your wallet and stuff in there. Like I mentioned, the seats, they do look really nice. Very comfortable seats. I like the nice diamond quilted stitching. You also get on the actual door panel, which looks really nice. Above me, there's this large panoramic sunroof. Unfortunately, it does not go into the actual third row. Looking at the materials on the door panel, it's gonna be a nice soft touch ejection molded plastic. There is this manual sunshade here to block out the haters in the sun. And my model does have the Macintosh sound system. There's a little bit of storage and cup holder space down here. The switch gear in here feels really nice to touch. Like I mentioned, nice diamond quilted stitching on the door panel. It's gonna be nice and padded here to rest your elbows. But overall, let's get into the third row really quickly here, because the second row does feel very comfortable and very spacious. But getting back here, just lift that handle up there and the seat will tilt forward and just push it out of this way. But getting back here, unfortunately, this only sits 2 people across. I wish Jeep would have basically put a little middle seat so that you can have 3 people across. But looking at the materials back here, gonna be a hard touch plastic. And there's some Easter eggs back here on the window. There's your air vent here. You also get another air vent on the front pillar there for the second row passengers. There's some cup holders here. Back here, there's a Type C with a Type A port, so you can basically keep charge if you're on a long road trip. And Jeep says you get around 30.3 inches of legroom here in the third row of the Grand Cherokee L. But overall, the second and third row of the Grand Cherokee L does feel very comfortable and very spacious. Let's talk about the powertrain specs here for the Jeep Grand Cherokee L. This has Jeep's 3.6 liter Pentastar V6. This powertrain makes 290 horsepower and 257 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy for this V6 is rated at 18 in the city, 25 on the highway, and 21 combined. As of this filming, Jeep does not offer a plug-in variant on the Grand Cherokee L model, but you can go for the plug-in variant on the short wheelbase model. I should be driving that vehicle really soon. And this can tow up to 6,200 pounds if you go for the V6. If you go for the V8, Jeep says you can tow up to 7,200 pounds. So if you go for the V8, you do get more horsepower and more torque, and also more towing capability over the V6. So starting off in the 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L, this has Jeep's 3.6 liter Pentastar V6. This powertrain makes 290 horsepower and 257 pound-feet of torque. So a really good powertrain here. And it does get up and go, but if you guys want more power, I would recommend going for the V8. Yes, Jeep does give you a V8 option if you want that. Fuel economy for this V6 here is rated at 18 in the city, 25 on the highway, and 21 combined. So really good fuel economy here from this V6. Keep in mind, if you go for the V8, it is gonna drop the fuel economy down just a little bit. You can also get this with 4-wheel drive. So basically you can take this thing off-roading, and Jeep says you get around 10.9 inches of ground clearance once you have the vehicle at its peak setting here with the adaptive suspension. And this vehicle rides extremely well. Here in Miami, we don't have the best roads, but this thing legit floats like a cloud. The steering feel in here is very playful. And like I mentioned, the visibility out of the Grand Cherokee L here is really good. You also have these really good side mirrors here. This also has adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, rear cross traffic alert. So all the features that you will want from a modern day SUV. And Jeep brought that here with the Grand Cherokee L. And Jeep has kind of been missing in the 3-row family segment here, because the Toyota Highlander, the Ford Explorer, those vehicles are the top seller. But honestly, I have been seeing a lot of people buy the Grand Cherokee L here in my local area. And honestly, it's really nice to see these vehicles on the road because they look really good. You can also get the short wheelbase version if you guys don't want the 3-row model here that I'm driving today. I should be driving the 2-row version in the near future. But you buy this because you want to fit your family in this vehicle, because this is what this vehicle sits up to. Unfortunately, you can't get an 8-person configuration. You have to go for the Grand Wagoneer or the Wagoneer if you want to have that more space, and also to put your family in the second and third row. But this vehicle does offer really good leg room for the second and third row. I got back there really good. Keep in mind, I'm only 5'8", so I'm pretty decent height here. But let's do a launch here. Like I mentioned, this does have the V6. I would say, I think Jeep should have offered a turbocharged option for the Grand Cherokee L here, but the Pentastar is a really good durable engine. It's known for reliability, and I think Jeep put this in here to keep the cost down, because if they built another engine, the cost will go up. But them putting this powertrain in this vehicle, it does move this vehicle really well. You can also tow up to 6,200 pounds if you go for the V6 model. You can tow up to 7,200 pounds if you go for the V8. So if you guys want to have more power and more towing capability, I would recommend going for the V8 over the V6. Starting price here for the 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit is at $58,995. This one's tickets for $70,009. Hope you guys have enjoyed this review here. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Drive On Reviews and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next review.